Hey guys, this is Jess from Stark Skincare. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So yesterday the IPCC came out with their 2021 statement on the state of the world and how climate change is accelerating. So it seems like a good time to be talking about air pollution and the skin, which the state of our skin shouldn't be our main focus right now. However, whatever's going on in the world, life does go on and we will continue to take care of our skin. So why not think about the environment that we're in and what it is doing to our skin and how we can kind of help things. So my skincare brand has been an anti-pollution skincare line since 2011. I sort of have a multi-prong approach when it comes to how I address that. And I can't say that I am only an anti-pollution line, like that's not my shtick exactly. And hopefully I'll remember to explain that a little bit later as to why I feel that way about it. But my skincare line is about creating more resilient skin, because my philosophy with skin and skincare has always been that skin is very intelligent, super smart, it knows how to take care of itself. We've survived as a human race for a very long time without any skincare whatsoever. So, you know, if it came between food and SPF, you should choose food. However, no matter what's going on in the world, life goes on and we will continue to be taking care of our skin. So let's look at how we can go about doing that with a special focus on thinking about air pollution and what it's doing to our skin. So air pollution messes up our skin in a few different ways because of a few different things going on. But overall, what happens is it's making our skin more sensitive and more prone to issues such as acne, eczema, psoriasis, atopical dermatitis, premature aging, or more specifically extrinsic aging, which is not biological aging. It's not, oh, I'm 40, so time for me to have 12 lines and 3 sunspots or whatever. It's about how much exposure you've had to pollution, to UV rays, so that a 40-year-old skin could be the same as a 20-year-old skin if the 20-year-old has been exposed to more things than the 40-year-old. So UVA is the aging rays from the sun. It is the one that we're probably most concerned about. It's the more damaging one, and it is the number one environmental pollutant that affects the skin. And it is getting worse and worse as the years go on. The sun is more damaging now than it was 100 years ago. And yet we've known for 100 years how damaging the sun is. So this is not going to be a debate about whether or not you should wear SPF. You definitely need to wear SPF. I don't care if you're trying to get a base tan. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care where you live. I don't care if you only go outside for an hour a day. Everyone needs sun protection, whether that's clothing, shade, wearing sunscreen. Choose your weapon, but you must defend yourself from the sun. So UVA is the ray that causes accelerated aging. UVB is what causes burns. They're both very bad. In terms of the blue wavelengths, there's some debate as to whether or not that does anything. I don't think that needs to be at the forefront of what we're worried about. Really the sun's rays is what, those rays is really what we need to be more concerned about, as the sun just completely breaks down the skin. It breaks down the skin's barrier and our natural defenses. It causes your cells to just completely malform, which can lead to cancer. There is also increasing evidence that pollution actually makes the effects of UV rays worse. There's also extrinsic pollution causing damage to the skin via something called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, also known as PAHs. These are organic pollutants, known as organic pollutants, and they come from things such as car exhaust, cigarette smoke, burning of garbage and other things, diesel engines, burning wood, forest fires. And interestingly enough, skin exposure to PAHs will actually increase hyperpigmentation, which is so interesting for me to note because I just finished doing a round of bespoke products, which is a program that I open up every once in a while, where I create custom made skincare products, and half of the people who signed up wanted a product that dealt with hyperpigmentation. So you can imagine now what I'm thinking about. The Stark line clearly needs midnight. My nighttime serum kind of deals with hyperpigmentation, and so does City actually because of its high content of vitamin C, and so does Everlasting because of its high antioxidant content and its soothing capabilities, which would sort of help prevent that. But look for a new vitamin-rich product that I'm gonna have to drop soon. So our skin actually does absorb all of these little microparticles transepidermally through our hair follicles. It is absolutely being absorbed into our skin. There's a couple of reasons why this is very alarming. For one, our skin should be able to keep outside toxins out. However, our skins are being compromised by the very environment that we live in. I know that there's a lot of talk about how like the overuse of exfoliation and these things might be leading to this boon of barrier repair products being needed on the market, but I think that there's more than one reason why barriers are being suppressed at this time. Maybe there is too much exfoliation. Maybe people just really feel the need to properly cleanse their skin because there is a lot more pollutants in the air, but it is the pollution itself that's actually breaking down our barriers. So all of this exposure to these outside pollutants are, breaking down our barrier, and at the same time, our barriers are just not even strong enough to be able to withstand it. So as it's breaking down our barrier, it's also just like unable to repair itself quickly enough, which is one way that I do think that skincare is really important, because our skin is actually absorbing those outside pollutants, especially the more that the world is becoming polluted. Like, we're not evolving that quickly. Like, we don't evolve quickly enough to keep that stuff out. So the only way that we have evolved is through the creation of skincare companies. So you've probably heard of VOCs before. Those are volatile organic compounds, and they are emissions from things such as paint, varnishes, fuels and exhaust from cars, tobacco smoke as well, smog, which is sort of a combination of VOCs and ozone that can kind of just get trapped. And the combination of all of these things leads to our skin having an increase in sensitivity, and so this is why we get things like eczema. Nitrogen oxide is another one of these airborne pollutants that is totally messing with our skin. That is also from car exhaust. So as you can see, cigarette smoke, car exhaust, smoke in general are all things that are very, very damaging to the skin, and they have this really bad compounding effect whenever you add UV damage to that mix. So it's a really unfortunate, very bad situation for skin and the world. There have been studies in Europe as well as in Korea about how atopic dermatitis has been increasing at the same rate as pollution has been increasing, and more and more studies are sort of happening with the correlation between pollution and how our skin reacts to it. So we should know more and more in the future as to how to really deal with this. And so the technology when it comes to skincare is still in its infancy, which is why I say Stark is an anti-pollution skincare brand. At the same time, it's not possible for me to 100% claim that because it's not there yet. I don't have all the answers. I do know that we need to be using SPF. I do know that the increase of oxidation, oh, I didn't mention that. All these pollutants, what it basically does is it increases oxidation of the skin. That's essentially your cells rusting. It's whenever there are too many free radicals in the environment and they essentially can attack your healthy cells. It's happening with our skin with all of these airborne pollutants and with UV radiation, just kind of like sort of robbing the energy of our skin and of the cells of our skin. What's essentially happening is a chemical reaction between our skin and the environment, where our skin can't get everything that it needs to protect itself because the free radicals in the pollution around us, in the environment around us, is robbing our skin cells of what it needs to survive. So depleting the life out of our skin, like the very energy of our skin's cells. So this causes oxidative damage to our cells, which is what essentially leads to premature aging. So premature aging actually is worse than just a vanity thing. If you have, let's say if you saw a 5-year-old that had the skin of a 90-year-old, like some red flags would go up. You would be pretty alarmed about that. So I think that, signs of aging to a certain degree, when it's biologically appropriate, that makes sense. However, our skin being damaged way earlier than where it needs to be, that it is a cause for alarm, and we should be a little bit shocked, and we should be looking at that. And we should be not only adjusting our skincare routines, but our whole lifestyles, from what we eat and what we drive and how we consume products and my categories. The effects that, traffic-related pollutants have directly on our skin cannot be ignored. There's also been a lot of studies, or a few studies, about cigarette smokers and how their extrinsic aging is much quicker than non-smokers. And knowing that cigarette smoke is a self-induced pollutant, I think that that's a pretty good way to look at how pollution accelerates aging, but it also accelerates things such as acne and atopic dermatitis. So what can we do? As I mentioned, the technology when it comes to anti-pollution skincare is still in its infancy in a lot of ways. There are some tried and true methods of formulating or, products that you can use that do work. Now, SPF is always my number one. I do not sell SPF. I will never sell SPF as it is a drug, not a cosmetic, but I do highly encourage you to find a sunscreen that you love. Sunscreens have come a long way since the 90s and since the 2000s. So if you have long hated sunscreens, please do yourself a favor. Go to the drugstore, find one that you love. It's my best advice I can give you. Also, look for brands such as Stark Skincare that really concentrates on using ingredients that are full of vitamins, that are full of antioxidants, that are full of ingredients that have been studied and have shown to improve not only the function of your skin, but your skin's ability to create its own barrier, to create its own defenses, and to really adapt quicker to the environment that we are living in. So for example, my serum called Midnight Resiliency Boost Serum I have a hard time saying resiliency, is a barrier strengthening or barrier. I don't like the word repair, but it really is a barrier repair or strengthening serum that is full of oils that are quite high in carotenoids, vitamin A, super antioxidant rich, but also has a ceramide complex in it, which is going to help with the barrier of your skin. So I use it every night. I use it over my retinoids. I use a retinol. And make sure that you are properly cleansing your skin every night. The double cleanse method truly is the best way to really, really properly cleanse your skin of everything that has been on it all day long. So not only your makeup and your SPF or whatever old skincare products that have just been sitting on your skin all day, but also the pollution, the smoke, some soot, whatever you've sort of been exposed to just in your day-to-day, whether you are outside or inside, because there are plenty of indoor environmental pollutants as well as the outdoor ones. So it is really important to do that proper double cleanse. Of course, personally, I love using Aurora, which is our balm, as like my first cleanse. So the first cleanse, being oil-based or balm-based, is going to remove everything that is oil soluble. It's really just, it's like wax. It's like the wax on your car first, you know, and then you're going to go in with something that has some mild surfactants, such as Eclipse or another lightly foaming cleanser, and that's going to remove everything that is oil-based. Eclipse also is super antioxidant rich and is going to give you a very light exfoliation with enzymes. So I feel that gentle exfoliation regularly is going to help with the function of your skin. It keeps things really fresh. It keeps things really active, vibrant, working the best that it can. It's not being like bogged down with old cells and stuff like that. So cleansing is really important. SPF is really important. Lots of antioxidants is super important. And just using skincare that has, you know, things like adaptogens like Stark, or things that have tons of vitamins, things that are going to nourish your skin so that it can work as best as it possibly can. So as there's more research being done on anti-pollution skincare, you can bet that I will be including that stuff in my skincare line. But for now, the antioxidants, vitamins, which are antioxidants, adaptogens, herbs that have been known to just be extremely resilient from like environmental stressors are really important. Cleansing your skin really well, protecting yourself from the sun. It's the best we can do. And we should all start driving electric cars. If you have an electric car, leave a comment below and tell me what you drive, because I really want to get one, like next year or something. Sell both of our older cars, a 2006 and a 2017, and get like one electric car. Like that's my goal. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it made sense. I will definitely talk more about, you know, pollution and skincare if you guys are interested. So if you have any questions, you know, don't be shy. Let me know. Okay, bye.